Hello, welcome back to the layout, and this week I want to really just concentrate on this one area. I think I said that last week and then I did too much elsewhere. As you can see, I've removed all the muddy bank that I put in last week, and I restart that with just some walling, a bit of mud at the bottom and things like that, and sunken barge. Started on the buildings. These are just the Metcalfe buildings. I couldn't really find anything or build anything in a suitable time frame that would suit, so these will look okay, exactly the same as the Missing modelers have them. I just need to do some weathering on it. I need to finish the roofs, but that's really where I want to go. If I've got time, I'm going to look at a few of the jobs, but let's get on. Right, as you can see, I've started to get some of this dockside in place. This one's sort of coming down. I don't want to knock it because it's only just glued in, and then I'm going to put some sort of bit of mud at the bottom there, and a little bit around the top, loads of loose bricks, and I've just sort of cut this down so it looks like it's the wall's breaking down, but posts are still full height, but it's sort of broken off at this edge here. So, and then I'll put some weeds and things like that in. So I've got the rest of the dock sides to put in all the way round and under the bridge there. So if you look down, it sort of carries on. It does get a little bit narrower, but I couldn't get away with a wider river because the track's there and it goes up out there. So that was the widest you could really go. Buildings, I've got the lighting ready to plug in. I need to get the roofs fixed. So I've got the roofs left to do. And like I was saying, I've got the wire in there, but I don't think it was on camera. So I'm going to get the roofs in, get some weathering done on these, and then drill the holes for the wires, drop them through. Right, now it's time to get these roof tiles on. And what I've done is I've created some sheets just in Photoshop, and these are from other buildings that's got all the tiles and everything like that. And I don't want to just use the Metcalfe roofs. I mean, they're fine, but just don't look fantastic. I'm not a massive fan of the Metcalfe anyway, but they are quite good buildings. It's just the only reason I'm not really a fan is because everybody has got them on their layout. So you've got to make them slightly different so it doesn't look like everybody else's. But this layout needs some warehouse buildings, and there's not a lot out there unless I really go to town and just build some, but that's going to take a week of scratch building of just one building really, so I don't want to take that long. So I just want to cut these into some strips. I'm actually doing them in strips of 2 just to make it a lot easier, and then overlap them. And if you do them in single strips, it's fine and it gets exactly the same results, but it's just that little bit trickier, I find. So I'm doing them. No, I always used to do them in singles, and then I found this new method the other day. And I thought, yeah, that's made life a lot easier. So just get my glue, and I like this special bond glue. I just keep refilling it. Basically I just go overlap, and then I do the top one there, and then get the next one and align that one with the other tiles. So you still get a single layer, but it just makes it so much easier to apply, and you don't get any gaps in case you make a mistake. all you got to do is just then keep just moving them in and out so it looks like tiles. So I'm going to carry on all the way up the roof and down the other side, starting from the bottom on both sides, or it doesn't work, and I'll show you once I've finished. Right, the glue is all dried on these now, so I'm going to just trim them up. Use a thinner knife. I'm not going to put any ridge tiles on. Not until I've finished, really. And let's get on the building. Right. That'll fit nice. Too nice. And then, yeah, something not right with that roof. It'll be okay, I think. It's only going sort of on the back. It's low relief. Not quite perfect, but it'll do for me. Right, I'm just going to get a clear lacquer over the top, seal everything in, make sure it's all waterproof before I do any of the weathering. So I'm just going to go and spray this outside now. Right, I'm going to try and get a little bit of weathering on this, and not sure I'm going to be able to do it with the where the camera angle is, but let's have a look, because I'm struggling to sort of see. And where's my other brush? Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I need to shake this up. Forgotten about that. And I've got to be careful because I'm breaking these, moving them all the way around. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to go, I'll probably have to do this all off camera, but it's me. Can't actually quite see what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not too worried. I can tidy it up afterwards. I'm going to do that around all the windowsills and things like that as well, without destroying the model. I can always repair it, it's not a problem. So, actually, I've not actually seen that, but that doesn't look too bad. So, I'm going to carry on completing this and just seeing what it, and then showing you what we look like once I've done all that streaking. Well, I think I've gone a bit overboard on the old streaking there, but it's supposed to be a really dirty scene, and I'm going to airbrush a little bit anyway, so I'm actually just going to Also put a bit of this black weathering powder on and then brush that in. Brush. Push most of it off, but I think it should be okay. A little bit on the roof. Right, and then I just need to give it another spray with some lacquer, I think. Right, I want to try and start getting this sort of muddy bank. The idea is, got a bit of mud there, this barge just sitting on it. Got to paint it yet, obviously. And I've got some bricks, they're all laser cut from scale model scenery. So I can just sort of put a few down there. Need to get some weeds and vegetation down there. Paint the top of that actually. Just take the white paper away. And I think that will look much better with a bit of a muddy bank there and weeds and this all broken up. A few bricks just on the top and down the side here. And then I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to start that. I was actually thinking, what is the best way to do this? And I think just a bit of filler. So I'm just going to use the same what I did on the sort of odd standing, and just sort of put some in and then let it dry. Give it a bit of paint. If it all goes wrong, I just take it out again. Got to be at least 1.5 centimetres tall, because that's about the depth of the water that I want to do. I've got to be a bit careful that I don't get it all on this card like I just done there. That's awful. Don't mind if I get it in the riverbed. All helps. I'm just going to put a layer of grass on, I think, first, and at this. No, I don't want it on the top. I'm probably going to do with a smaller brush there. I'm just going to put this on by hand, I think. I can clear up the excess anyway. Well, I've got quite a bit of foliage that's all dried now. I'll just give the main boat just a little bit of spray. Okay, I've got to do these a little bit darker, but it's still slightly needs a little bit more drying. So plaster underneath is still a little bit wet, but the idea of that barge is to go there. I might need to just make some holes in the bottom, so file a little bit off there, because I want the resin to actually go inside, so it looks like it's a sunken barge just sat on there. Obviously I've got to put a bit more reeds and foliage in there. I'll put this fence in. I've only secured it at both ends at the moment, so I need to put a little bit more in there, and then a little bit of grass texture around it. So I've started to put this rest of the fencing in around here. Obviously I'm going to have to disguise all the bottom section of it, and it sort of steps around. I was going to have the fencing just going straight across, but I did actually have a slight technical issue there. So if I just show you what I actually mean by that, and you'll see that the van would have hit the fence otherwise. So a little bit more forward planning when I was doing the road system, I think would have been better. So I can see that the track goes around because it needs to swing out a little bit before it can get around the corner, otherwise it would have been too tight. These are gates there. I've decided to just leave them closed. I was thinking, do I have one of them swung open, and then just a person walking through? So that's a possibility that I could just do, and then it gives you an idea that there are gates there rather than a fence, because it doesn't look quite as obvious. Then on here I've got sort of the main opening, which would sort of feed the dock scene. Obviously we've got a crossing to go over, and I do have some gates on here as well. The idea was to have, I'll just rest those on there for a second, and then a normal small opening there, so you could then open the main gates, or you could just open the small gate and walk through. So I think it'd need to be that way round, as the don't think you'd want the gate opening onto the small gate opening onto the railway side. Main gates would open that way and then sort of block the tracks. So I'd need some sort of signalling sort of around here, I think. So some sort of signal just to sort of say, you know, so it'll hold the train at this point here, so if we were getting anything going through on the loading up from the dock scene. One thing I have been doing, I've just been making sure, and I've tested it with a couple of Locos as well, some of the larger Locos, class 37s and things like that, and we get all nice clearance. So obviously this is more freight terminal, so it's not going to have some huge things like this. It doesn't have passenger trains going through, but it could have bigger. So I wanted to make sure everything cleared the fences. I mean, there's only just enough room, and in reality you would never have a fence that close. It would be set a lot further back than that. But I've got such a tight constraint of space. I couldn't move everything further back because it would just make the layout even bigger, because it needed to come out another probably 6 inches really. Right, while I'm sort of waiting for all the things, I thought I'd make a start on this dockside crane, and this is just one from Dapol. This is the travelling dockside crane, but I'm not going to do it as a travelling one, it's going to be a static one. So they're just going to be stuck onto the dockside. And do we get instructions? Of course we do. Is it great instructions? Well, it's an exploded diagram. I've not built this model before, So it'll be interesting. Might try and find a PDF online so it's a bit clearer. But obviously just make that first piece. I don't need to make these pieces at the bottom. So let me start, and might as well come back in a bit because I mean, look at some of those pieces. I mean, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be that sort of bent, but I don't think so. So this is going to take a bit of building, I think, trying to get this all to line up. I'm not going to do it on camera because I might end up saying something that I probably shouldn't. So anyway, let's see if I can get this built tonight. Well, that's the crane all built. Well, nearly. I did build all the feet as well, just in case I did want to use it like that, but I don't think I will be. I've just got the handrails to fit on, and obviously the roof and the glazing. So I wasn't going to fit the roof until I've done the glazing. I wasn't going to do the glazing until I've done the painting. So and I've decided that I don't want the boom moving, so I fixed it in one position, and that's really it. So I've got a glazing sheet, so I'm going to need to sort that. But yeah, I mean, it went together okay after a fashion. Some of the parts you need to sort of pull together while you're holding it with the glue, you know, because they're a little bit bent, but they actually did hold and they stayed in that position once I'd got the glue on there. So I mean, there is a very slight bit on the legs, but you can't really see it now. So yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest kit in the world, but it actually goes together all right, you know. So and there's just a couple of little bits that I just need to add on, but I want to sort of work out how I'm going to paint this first. Let's have a quick look what it looks like on the layout, where I'm going to fit it. So the plan was to have it about here on the layout, so it could then serve the wagons and turn around for the boats. But do I put it off the dock edge there, which then it could do all of what we've requested it to do. So yet to decide, and perhaps I could have actually put it on, probably take that off, probably could have put it on the rails going along there, so it could have fed either, but I haven't done that and I can't now put them in. So, but I'm probably going to end up with it roughly there, sort of thing, but just needs a bit of paint on it, so it's just not a grey piece of plastic. Well, I've got these street lights that I want to put in, and I've been waiting for some more sort of grass 2mm scatter, and I'm waiting for the Dapol resin. So I thought I'll get these done while I've got time, and I thought these would look quite good. Obviously I can adjust the height, and I'll probably just put them behind this fence there, but I'll drop them down a lot more than that, you know. I know you can adjust these, you can adjust them with this, so and I think, so if that was that's about the right height, just about there. So I'm going to actually chop some of that piece off, but I'll probably set them all, glue them all in, and then use that. I don't know whether to use that grey piece or not. It'd probably help. And then, but I'm going to be putting a grass bank on the inside and outside of that fence anyway, and this will hide anything where the lights are going through. So I'm going to just drill some holes and put those through. So the height that I decided was sort of roughly around about between 65 and 70, you know, so around about 70 mil, something like that. And I think that should be about right height. So if you've got a larger vehicle, just clear them. But the only vehicles that's going to run along here is that van anyway. So, but I'm just going to get some holes drilled. And I know last time I sort of measured them out about the width of a coach. So if I said one there and then one there, sort of thing, and I think so 1, 2, 3 or 4, probably 4 or 5 on there. I'll probably put one here as well, actually. Right, I have a feeling I'm going to go through the DCC bus here, because I'm pretty sure I've got all my tracks along there, so I'm going to have to reroute some of it again. But I'm just thinking, do I put it behind the post or do I put it sort of around there? If I'm putting one about here, or okay, so I'm going to put it in the middle of the fence there, actually. And I'll just fold the wires over so it's a lot easier to push through. I need to just give that a vacuum up really, but let's just see how high that looks. Have we got the right size hole? Yep. So that would be how high? I think that looks about right height. So I'm going to carry on getting those in. A little bit of housekeeping on me there. The idea is you're not going to, I know there's no pavement on the side and it'd be better to put them there, but I haven't really got enough pavement space on the other side to do this. I thought I just need to check have I got enough clearance before I glue them in, and yes, there is just enough. It's a little bit quite straight. Well, the hole wasn't very straight, but I'll have to glue that in, keep it straight. Yeah, there is just enough clearance on all of them at the moment. Now I'm going to run a few Locos because I've been waiting for parts to come for the river scene and the dock scene. I've been waiting about a week for that, so I'm not going to get that done now. I'm waiting for the resin, I'm waiting for some more grass texture, I'm actually waiting for some more glue as well, and it just seems to be taking forever for the sellers to dispatch these. But let's start this bit of a running session. that's it really. Obviously, it never seems enough when you're working on it. With the docks, you've nearly finished. Fence looks good, must admit, but I need all the grass texture to go underneath it. I'm still waiting for that to be delivered. I ordered it nearly a week ago. Just had an email from Jadland Racing saying it's been dispatched. But I'm not going to get that, and I'm not going to get the resin, so it's all on the same order. Buildings look okay. I think I went a bit too heavy on the weathering side on the buildings, but it's fine. I've still got to finish the dockside crane off. I've done some weathering on that, and so I sprayed that black initially, and then I did a sort of a grey wash over it, so some of the black was showing through like paint being chipped off. And then I did some sort of rust and sort of streak, you know, so it was like dirty and things like that. And then I was thinking, I forgot to put all the handrails in after I've all weathered it, so I'm going to have to re-weather some of the handrails and things like that. So finish the job before you start weathering. I've still got some vessels to make in here. I've just made one barge at the moment. That was to go over on the other side of the dock scene, but it's too big. I've made it too big, so I'm using some 3D printed ones over there. So the 3D printed one, I do exactly the same, but I decided to really heavily rust it because it's going to just sort of sit there. I've got to make a hole in the bottom, sand a bit of a hole in the bottom there, so when I pour the resin in, it fills the barge up a little bit as well, and so it looks like it's a sunken barge sitting there. I'm going to get another one of these for just on the other side, but not make it quite as derelict. And oh, the paint's still wet. So I'm going to have to touch that back up with a bit of brown paint, but I need to just go over that with some sort of really high gloss to give it a sort of a wet mud look. I think I went overboard on weathering this bridge as well, and this crane, but I think it's all okay. Obviously I'm never going to get this finished 100%, but I'm trying to get as much done as I can. I've actually just sort of started at the back there, so I've painted it all grey, started to put some pavements in, and I want to get some houses in there. So, but I think one of the big things I need to do really is to get the wiring finished, get the lighting circuit on, get the point motors fitted. So there's a lot of more work to do, but thank you for watching, and any suggestions that you think I've done wrong. Some stuff I cannot refix, like that item there, it's a walkway over there, because it's just going to wreck the buildings trying to refix that. So I'd either have to replace the whole building or just live with it, and I'm going to certainly live with it, because it probably needs to be about another 5 mil, maybe 10 mil higher, I think. But anyway, sorry for waffling on, but I appreciate you staying to the end. And, thank you very much. Have a really good Easter, and take care.